Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to implement this login screen in Jetpack Compose. I already have a video about implementing a screen like this. If you missed it, you can watch it. But in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a strategy that I personally use when I have a screen like this. And let me just show you. Let's try to type the username or the password. And as you can notice, we just had nice animation that collapsed the upper view so that the keyboard won't overlap any of these text fields or the button. And that's the main purpose why I want to make this video. So as you can see, so I'm going to show you how to design the whole screen and implement this feature with Jetpack Compose. Let's get started. Okay, so now I'm inside an empty Compose project, and the first thing we want to do is just to create our background. So if you notice that we have a gradient color for the background, let's create that. So I'm going to create a file here called this gradient box. Create a composable file with the same name. And for the color, let's actually create two colors here. And for the parameters, let's pass a modifier. And let's also pass a lambda for the content that will be placed inside this box. So that will be a composable. And because I just want to pass the box scope to this lambda function, we're just gonna call the box scope as an extension on this, and this will return a unit. Okay, now what we can do is just create a box and give it the modifier. Here we want to pass the content. And let's just pass modifier and give it a background color. So modifier, or no, we need to pass the same one we get from the parameters. And now we can say background color. So no, here we want to pass a brush, not a color. And then we can say linear gradient. Here we need to pass the colors as a list. So we can say a list of. The first color is the blue. And tail 600, and that's it for this gradient box composable. Now let's go back here and let's create our login screen. So we can say login screen. Let's create a composable login screen. So by the way, I'm not gonna maintain any states for this screen. I just want to show you how to design the screen. If you wanna, you can test yourself and maintain the state. If you don't know about Jetpack Compose states, I already have a video about that, so you can just go to my channel and watch it. You will get everything. Okay, so let's actually see what we want to have here. Now we can call gradient box like that, and we just give it the maximum size. So modifier to fill max size. Okay, now what we need to add here is a column. So we will just arrange or layout our screen with a column, and let's give that fill max size. And here we can just pass horizontal arrangement to center horizontally. Here, let's put that into a new line. Okay, so the first thing we want to add in this column is the part that will get collapsed when we show the keyboard, and we'll represent that by a box. So let's do that. So we'll put our text inside a box, and this box will fill the max width. And now we want to fill 35% of the height. So fill max height 0.35. Now this is very important because this value will get animated, but we will just deal with the animation later. So let's put that into a new line. Let's keep on now. So we just want to center the content inside this box in the center, and now we can just create our text. So we can say text. Here we can say welcome. So welcome to Land of Coding, for example. Let's pass a style. That would be headline medium. And let's also pass a color of white. Let's just put that into new lines. And now we're done with the first part. So this will just make sure to show the text, the welcome text. To preview this, let's go back here and call the login screen. Let's launch the app to see that. And here you go. So here's the text. Now we want to design the rest. So the text fields and the button. So let's go here and let's, no, inside the login screen, of course. In here, inside the column, we want to create another column because the text fields and the button are just below each other. So we can lay out that with a column. Now we can say column. And we want to pass some stuff to the modifier. First, we want to fill the rest of the screen, so fill max size. Remember that we took 35% in this box. Now in here, we just fill the rest by coding fill max size. We want to clip this because we have rounded corners from the top. So we can say rounded corner shape. From the top left, top start, not top left. Let's give that 40 dB. And top in the same 40 dB. Okay, what do we need to also give this is a background color. So color.white, and we also want to center the content horizontally. So we can say horizontal alignment, center horizontally. Okay, that's cool. Let's just launch the app to show you what we have achieved. So here, as you can see, that's what we have made so far. Okay, now we just want to create the text here, the login text, and then the text fields. After that, the login button. So let's do that. And here we want to add the text. But before the text, we have some spacing. And here I like to use fractions. So we just want to add spacer and give it a fraction. Now, because we have different screen sizes, the problem is always with the small size. So in a bigger screen size, you won't just, the content won't be clipped, but in a small screen size, content might be clipped if you don't take care of it. So in my opinion, if we take the care of the small screen size, then we are safe. So how did I do that? I just created a helper function that determines if the current screen is a small or big screen. So let's just implement that function. So let's go here. Let's create a function that is called, I don't know, we can make a file that called UI helper, for example. And inside here, we can have a composable function called is small screen height. This returns a boolean. And now we can get the configuration or some information about our screen by calling this local configuration.current. And now we return if the screen height in dB is less or equals 786. So I just experimented this number using the Pixel 2 device because that is considered as a small device. So yeah, so this is my own solution. If you have a better solution, it could also work, of course. But this is how it detects small screen devices. Now in here, we can just depend on that function to determine what kind of spacing we should give. So here we can check if it's small screen height. We want to give some, spacing of modifier.fill max size 0.05f. Else we give a higher or a bigger spacing fraction like 0.1f. Okay, so let's keep on. Now we want to pass the login text, so we can say text, or we can just copy the one we have in here. And here we can paste it. We can say login. So we want to change the color to black. Let's just see what we have accomplished. So as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Now on a larger screen size, we would have more spacing here, and thanks to this if statement here. Now we want to create the text field, Now, the text field that you saw in the app is just a custom text field. You can't create it with the material theme standard text fields. You need to create your own text field using the basic text field composable. So let's see how we can do that. So in here, let's create a composable function. Let's call this my text field. And let's create a composable function. So again, I'm not gonna maintain any state. You can do that on your own. So in here, we will start this with a column because we have a label above the text field. Let's also give this modifier. Modifier. And assign a default value. Pass it in here. Let's also pass a label here, which is string, of course. Now we can say text. Text equals to label and style. Well, I don't know. Let's give this, or let's just keep the default style. We don't want to care a lot about this. Now here we can just add spacer, modifier.height. Let's give that 10 dB. And now we add the actual text field. So we can call basic text field on that. So we can call basic text field. Basic text field. So for the value, I will pass empty string. I'm not gonna make anything with the state. Just do that on your own. On value change, keep that empty again. Now we want to pass keyboard options and keyboard actions. Those are just ways to control the kind of keyboard you show for this text field. And yeah, you can just, for example, also pass read only. Let's just pass those as parameters. Keyboard options, keyboard actions, and read only. We make that as a boolean. Let's give that default value of false. So keyboard options, keyboard actions, and pass read only. You can of course add more things, but let's just do that quickly. Now in here, now in this text field, we want to design the internal look of this text field. So we can say a row. We want to fill the max width. We want to clip this because we have rounded corner shapes. 10 dB. What we also want to do here is to give this a height. So we can pass that height in the parameters as well. So height 42 dB. This type of dB. 42 dB. Let's pass that in here. We want to add a background color. So this is of color. We will pass a custom one here. So we're gonna pass this color. And yeah, so that is it. Vertical alignment. And let's do vertical alignment, put that into the center. Let's also add a padding here for the text. We add horizontal, 10 dB. And now we can just show the cursor or the actual text from the text field. As you can see here, we get this it. We just want to invoke that lambda call. And that's it for our text field. Let's get back here and let's add these into our screen. So here we want to add another spacing. So again, it depends on the screen height. I'm going to copy this, paste it. So if we have a small screen height, would be this. If we have a bigger screen size, would be this. Now we want to add the first text field. So my text field, label, let's pass username or email, keyboard options. We just pass keyboard options. I'm not gonna modify anything on here. Keyboard action the same. And let's also pass a modifier. We want to apply padding horizontally 16 dB. That's it. Now let's add spacer, modifier height 20 dB. This time we pass a constant. And we copy this one, paste it in here. This one, password. We forgot to do one thing, by the way. We forgot to add the trailing icon for the password text field. So let's do that. Let's get back to my text field inside this row. Yeah, that's the reason why we created the row, because we had two items, but I forgot to add the icon. So let's see. So I'm just gonna create a box here, and in this box I'm gonna pass a modifier. This will take a weight of 1f, and we also want to pass content alignment center start. So we start from the center. So we start from center start, which is what we expect from our text field. Then we can call it .invoke, and below this, inside our row, we need to add our icon. So here we can say trailing icon. Let's pass that as an image vector. Make this nullable. If it's not null, so in here, or trailing icon. If it's not null, then we can add a icon button, and we can pass our icon. So image vector is trailing icon. For the content description, pass null, and for the tint color, I want to pass this one. Let's get back here, and for the password here, we can just pass image vector or trailing icon. We can say icons dot rounded dot visibility, I believe, or no, we don't have that one by default. Let's see, icons dot default dot password, no. Visibility, no. No, we don't have that by default. We should add the extended library for these icons, but I'm just gonna pass anything. Actually, I'm not gonna care about that. So let's see, we can pass this lock. Make sure to pass a real icon, but yeah, I don't want to waste time on that. Now let's see what we have achieved so far. I hope nothing is broken. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, that looks as we expect, unless this here, and we don't have padding here, so we're gonna fix that. So let's go back to our text field, and let's see what we can fix. So let's remove this padding, and instead we want to put it or place it in here for our text, not for our text field. Okay, now this looks better. Now the last thing is the button. So let's do that. Let's create our button. So let's go back to our login screen. In here, we can have a box. We can say modifier equals to modifier.fill max size. So we want to fill the rest of this space we have in here. Then we place our button in the center of this space. Yeah, we can call content alignment. We center that button. Then we can just say button. Let's give that modifier equals modifier.fill max width. For the colors, we can say button color or button default dot button colors. So let me just format that. And let's pass the container color here. I'm gonna make this color.blue, and for the content color, so the text, that will be white. Now we add a text. We can say login. For the style, let's pass a custom text style here. For the font size, we pass 18. For the font weight, let's pass font weight of 500. And for the color, oh, we don't want to pass the color because we passed it in here. Let's see. So let's see now what we have. Okay, we just want to add some padding, and the color looks very bad, I know. We'll change that. Horizontally, 16 dB. For the color, let's see what we can add. So here, let's just pass any color. Then from this color picker, we can adjust it. I don't know what I used in the original app, but let's try something here. So let's pick this one. Let's see now. Okay, that looks good, but one thing is that we want to change the shape here from rounded, which is the default one, to rounded corner. So we change it from circle to rounded corners. Here, let's pass, I don't know, 10 dB for example. I'm still not satisfied with the color, so let me just get the real color from the original app. Okay, so I found it. That'll be like this. C92. Now let's see. And yep, that is the color we want. Okay, now as you can see, when we type something, for example in the username, the keyboard just overlaps everything. And this is very bad user experience. We can't even scroll. Same thing for the password here. So the way I solve this is just to detect the keyboard when it's visible, we go into collapse this part. So we have more space for this lower section. We want to have a listener on the keyboard. For that, I'm gonna copy and paste a composable function, and you can do the same. You can copy it and paste it from my repository. So I'm gonna create here and call this, or you know what, we can actually add it in the UI helper here, paste it, and this is called remember IME state. That returns the state of boolean. So what happens inside here is basically that we register a callback inside this one that detect the keyboard visibility, and we update this state every time the keyboard visibility changes, then we return this state. So we can now use that inside our login screen. We can say IME state or visibility, or is IME visible by remember IME state. We want to import set and get. We only want to import get. Now in here, instead of this, we can just use some animation. So we can say val, or before we use the animation, let me show you without the animation. So if is IME visible, we give that value, else 0f, or no, we want to do, if the IME visible, we want to do 0f, we want to collapse it, else 35%. Let's see. Click here. As you can see, that is what we want. Click here, and that is also what we want. But as you can see in this time, it got out of the screen. And the reason is because we want to go back here and to the manifest, and we want to add something to Windows soft input, make this adjust resize. So this will solve the issue. Now let's relaunch the app. Here, and yeah, as you can see. Now the reason why we needed this in the manifest is because this flag is for the keyboard. It changes the default behavior, which is adjust pan, I think. And what that does is basically to make that it makes your screen scrollable when the keyboard is shown. We just want to change it to adjust resize. Okay, now let's get back to the login screen, and in here, instead of this constant, we want to pass an animation, an animated value. So we can say val animated upper section Ratio, let's say, we can say by animate state or float as a state. So now we can copy this, paste it here, and for the label, let's just pass empty string. And let's delete this and pass the animated value. Now, let's see. So click here. As you can see, we had that nice animation like that. And what you can also do is just to animate the visibility of this text. So let's do that. I haven't tried it, but let's do it together. So this text here, so we can say animated visibility. This will be visible if the IM is visible boolean here is false. So we can say not is IME visible. And we can take that in here. Okay, so it is complaining because we calling it inside another container, another box. So we're just gonna cut this box and place it inside. Now it should work. Let's test that out. I don't know if this is gonna look cool or not, but let's see. So click here. Yeah, I don't know if that was... I don't know. You can play around with the transitions. So you can, for example, pass enter. Make that fade in. Or no, without curly brackets. So fade in. Exit, fade out. And one more thing here. I think we can just, in the button, if IME visible, else we keep the default thing we have. But it is, if it's visible, this case, I would like to just copy this, paste it here, and we don't want to pass a ratio here. Oh, I mean not here. I'm sorry about that. Wait. So here, this is the button. It starts from this box. So we can say if IME visible, else. So in the else block, we're gonna show this one that we created, but in this part, if the IME is visible, we are going to just copy the button part, and this time we want to just pass a constant padding value. So in the modifier here, we can just say padding top equals, let's say 20, for example. Let's test that. Click here. We also want to add padding. Okay, let's see. Click here. Yeah, as you can see, that is what we want. So as you can see now, this is not very smooth. I stopped the video and I get back to the manifest file. I change this to adjust nothing. So this will tell the Android system that not to adjust anything for this activity when the keyboard is shown. If you wanna change this later, you're gonna need to change this later in your code. If you have like other screens that have other text fields, you can do that programmatically, and there's a way to do it. So you can just put it, for example, to adjust resize, or to adjust repan, or to adjust pan, sorry, do it programmatically, and you're gonna need that. But now if we just click here and wait until the app is launched, try, as you can see, it's way smoother now. So as you could see, and I believe that we can increase the spacing between the login and this text field. It will looks even better. But that's it. It looks very nice, and I just wanted to share this strategy with you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a great day. Catch you in the next video.